Welcome to the Referrals Podcast, the show designed to help everyone from the solopreneur to the Fortune 500 company win the referral game. If you want to build a company with an army of ambassadors and raving fans who speak highly of you and refer you willingly, you are in the right place. And now, here is your host, Michael J. Mayer.
Are you kidding me? We got Josh Frazee on here today. Are you kidding? Frazee rhymes with crazy. Like, this guy's doing a crazy amount of business. He is, in Michigan, like, of all places. Like, this isn't a California show or a Florida, Miami show. This isn't New York City. This is Michigan. And he is having his best year ever. He didn't let the COVID-19 quarantine, stay at home. You can't put any signs out. You can't do any open houses. You can't breathe. You can't do anything. He didn't let any of that hamper him. He is Josh Frazee. He is a licensed real estate agent out of St. Joseph, Michigan. He's with Century 21 affiliated. He comes from a construction background. You guys know him from Smart Restart. You know him from Daily Dose. This guy is Josh Frazee. Josh, welcome.
Excited to be here.
And we have Jason. Every time you look at the calendar, I want you to think of this guy, because July, August, September, October, November, if you look at those letters, it spells Jason. And this is Jason Kohlberg. I'll tell you, he could be a professional wrestler with that name, but no. He is a lender with AmeriFirst in Benton Harbor, Michigan. This guy is setting the world on fire, and I'm going to let him share his numbers with you in about 3 seconds, and you're going to be blown away. Jason, welcome to Referral Mastery Summit. Thanks for being here, brother.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is brought to you by AmeriFirst Mortgage, and we love them as a referral partner. And this entire session is brought to you by them. And please note that they could have made an ad out of this, but what they decided to do instead is deliver a ton of value. So, best year ever. What? Best year ever? Yeah, best year ever. So what made this the best year ever? What made you accomplish? Most people are down this year. What did you do to have your best year ever this year?
We're system driven. Our systems got better. We were able to improve our systems with the lockdown. And then we tripled our phone calls.
Tripled your phone calls. So
Yes.
Who did you call? What did you say?
I called everybody. I circled neighborhoods, called, checked on them, made sure everybody was happy. I called Jason every day to tell him how many phone calls I made, and let him know he better be resting right now, because I'm going to fill his inbox up with offers once we're able to go back to work.
Yeah. So in the pre-call, we talked about you actually have a calling system, right? So
yeah.
So tell everybody who you called on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah. So during quarantine time, it was every day was a different day. So I can't remember how it was, as we've changed it since then. But yeah. Monday was your top 50. Tuesday was your A's, B's, and C's. Wednesdays were your neighborhood. And Thursdays was business partners, and just kept going.
Friday was like a catch-up day, right?
Yep, Friday was a catch-up day.
So I love that, right? So you're just breaking it down. I'm going to call past clients and current clients this day. I'm going to call my sphere this day, my top 150 this day, my referral partners this day. And then on Friday, all those people are going to be calling back that you left messages with. So a lot of those people are incoming calls, and you got a lot of referrals because of it. So Jason, how about you?
Well, I would say during the shutdown, I also made calls nonstop every day. We had nothing much more to do. My calls were to previous clients and realtors. I got to know a lot of my business partners a lot better than even business partners I worked with for 20 years. We had conversations that we had never had the time to have before. So it really gave me a chance to get to know people a lot better and really solidify a lot of relationships. And I think it's really helped. And they know what I can do, and we work really well together.
Yeah. Something that I loved from talking to Josh is Josh was calling just to see how he could help. He literally was like, do you need groceries? Do you need toilet paper? What do you need? I'll do a run for you. And he made thousands of calls, and nobody ever took him up on the offer, but they all appreciated it and referred him or thought higher of him or talked about a neighbor who might be selling. Did you see a similar result with your phone calls? What was the purpose of your call. And it really sounds like you weren't calling to sell anything. It sounds like you were just calling to get to know them a little bit better and how they were coping with everything. Is that true?
Yeah, that's 100% accurate. I definitely connected a lot more on a personal level with everybody, and I think it's really helped a lot. And not that I haven't always had a good relationship, but it's definitely gone to another level now.
Yeah.
So.
Were there any specific questions that you asked during that call that were really big movers for the relationship?
Pretty much what can I help you? What can I do to help you improve your business? Yeah. And, we have a lot of tools, a lot of CRM software, a lot of things we can help with. And I got a chance to actually talk to people about it because normally I'm too busy. So more personal level. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. So while we're with you, how did you and Josh get connected? I mean, I think one of the things, we have realtors, we have lenders, and the realtors really want a lender partner that they see as a partner, not an order taker, and not someone they can't get a hold of, and not some of these other things. You guys are truly referral partners. So how did you end up building that relationship with Josh?
Josh was initially referred to me from another agent in his office. And he actually came to me, and he was totally different than any other agent. He was not an agent that said, hey, I only want to work with $200,000 and higher buyers. He's like, how can I help everyone? And he wasn't afraid to get his hands dirty. And he found out that I could do no credit score loans and down to 580 scores. And all the other agents were turning those people away. And that's how he went gangbusters. He was helping the underserved. And I was working with him doing it.
You were able to do it. You were able to do those loans and that kind of thing.
And a lot of those underserved people that were barely able to buy a $90,000 house, a year later, I'd sell it for $140,000 for them, and they were buying $200,000 houses because of their credit.
Wow.
So it was great.
So they made $60,000 just by knowing you, right? And without Jason, they would have never had the opportunity. They wouldn't have been able to get the financing and the opportunity. And it turned out to be a great deal for everyone, not just Josh, not just Jason, and not just the buyers, but the investors and the mortgage holders. It was a huge win for them as well because they got paid on that, and probably pretty handsomely.
Yeah.
So
I did some research. Each home that a realtor sells puts $65,000 into the economy.
Yeah. Let's sell more homes. Let's help the economy, 100%. If you had to cold call Josh, do you think that it would have developed to the same level of relationship versus it being referred by another agent? Did it make it easier that it was referred by another agent?
It was definitely easier because I actually was just telling somebody the other day, I've been doing this for 22 years. And as you probably know, it's easy to get burned out in this business. And Josh has so much energy and passion that he got me excited. And I mean, to be honest with you, I was kind of getting to the point in my career where I was getting sick of taking lemons and making lemonade. However, he got me excited about it again. I'm really glad he did, because even to this day right now, every other lender has changed their criteria, and we're still helping no scores and 580s. And I'm happy to do it. Yeah. And those people, we've changed their life.
Yeah. Here's the other thing too. Have you found that that group of people are more appreciative than maybe the ones with the 800 credit score, and they're basically rate shopping and they get into a house and they already knew they were going to get into a house? Did you find that out?
There is zero question that is the case. Matter of fact, I tell realtors all the time, hey, these 800 credit score, 20% down conventionals, we won't remember them and they won't remember us. The people that we had to get our hands dirty with and change their life, nobody else gave them the time of day. Those people want to refer their entire family, friends, coworkers, everybody.
Yeah. And that's the power right there.
Girls just off of that. I mean, Jason and I fed our family really well just off those referrals.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So how did working together help you have your best year ever? Right. So what were some things? I heard one thing earlier is you guys had some personal accountability with the calls. you would call each other and say, hey, here's how many calls I did and here's who I talked to. Were there other ways that working together helped you achieve your best year ever? And Josh, I'll go to you first and then Jason.
Okay. Yeah. So Jason and I will get somebody, I'll send him a lead. He'll call me right away. The communication's there. We already set up a game plan. We know exactly where they need to be, what they need to be. We tell what we know about the client. That way it helps us out. And then when I get the house, I can tell Jason, hey, here's some issues and this is how we're going to take care of it. So he already knows, and he knows what the issues are happening. We work together, and what's going to be a hard transaction is super easy because we already know.
Mm-hmm.
The communication's the most important.
Yeah.
I call Jason, he calls me, if he's not answering, he calls me back within an hour, lets me know what's going on. So.
Yeah, Jason, how about you? How have you worked together to have your best year ever?
Well, definitely, I think, like I said, Josh's energy and passion, I mean, he gets the clients excited when they call me. I mean, it's so easy because he gets them excited. He talks me up. I mean, he makes my job easy. They already trust me before they've even talked to me. And I guess on my end, I think this happened not too long ago where I called Josh and I sent him a pre-qualified letter. He said, hey, I'll take it, but it's not my client. I go, oh yeah, it is. It's somebody you referred a year or two ago that finally listened to, we got their credit fixed and here you go.
So I love that. That's like manna from heaven, right? That's beautiful. I love that. And are you guys doing anything else together? Do you have time to do other things like events or virtual events or digital or online events or other ways that you're partnering to generate referrals or get business?
Last year I did a client appreciation party and Jason sponsored it. We had a good turnout. We had a magician and a balloon maker. The kids loved it. We had about 90 people, and that was our first appreciation party we did.
Oh, that's
cool.
Cool.
The 7 levels of communication: letter, phone call.
Yeah, the invite, right? The power is in the invitation, and even if only one person attends, it's a success if you invite 1,000 people because 1,000 people got to hear your invitation. I talking to Dr. Sherry, and it was exactly like the power of the invitation is so underrated. I mean, you're inviting them to belong to something, goes all the way to childhood and that feeling of belonging. So I love that. So, here's the thing is that what words of wisdom do you have for the people within the Referral Mastery Summit, the Generosity Generation, to have their best year ever? Like, what would you tell them, and what specific action would you implore them to take? And Jason, I'll have you go first, and then Josh, you bring us home.
Well, I've always used the same mindset every year. I always set a BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal. And every year I've managed to achieve it somehow, even though it seems ridiculous when I set it. But I've learned, as long as one of my favorite sayings, if you always do what you've always done, you always get what you've always gotten. And that's the truth. And I always do what I've always done. And my business has increased every single year. And you take care of people, do the right thing. And I mean, that's the BHAG is the key for me.
Yeah. And so you did something different this year, right? One of the things that you did different this year is you called almost with the intention of it being a longer call. You were going to get to know your referral partners even better. And let me ask you this, like looking ahead, next year, like what is something that you want to do differently to try to have an even better year next year? And I know that is not a rehearsed question, right? It's like, I'm genuinely curious to know.
That's a great question. I think my goal moving forward is to work smarter and not harder. Because, when you have an increase like I've experienced, let's just say, time is not there. So I'm looking to figure out systems and, get my team more involved so that we can figure out a way to kind of work through this a little
leverage, right? People, systems, and then tools and technology. How can we use those to be more efficient and work smarter instead of harder? I love that. And it's honestly, that's like the number one answer of Referral Mastery Summit is, leverage people, systems, and technology or tools, because everybody's so busy and we're serving the client, and we need to go from an I to a we, and we need to do a we better. And then hopefully we can go from a we to a they eventually. And the they is your team who are serving your clientele at the same standards that you are. I love that.
I do want to add, my team is amazing. I couldn't do what I do without them. That's for sure. So I do have backup. It's not just me.
You have the powerful we. You already have
I was trying to steal his admin.
Yeah. So you don't have to steal. She's working for you. She's working for you right now, dude.
That's right.
So what final words of wisdom would you have for the Referral Mastery Summit or Generosity Generation, or somebody who's really looking to have their best year ever?
System driven, obviously, but everybody's so afraid to make those phone calls, especially calling a neighborhood that you never introduce yourself. And the number one thing you need to know is they already told you no if you did not call them. You call them, it could be the beginning of a great relationship.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
every day I don't make 50 phone calls, I get really mad at myself.
Yeah, and you've said it several times to this community, and Josh, we need to learn it, is that it's one of those where you should kick yourself for not making the call because of the great relationships that you've been making because you did make the call, right? So you made the call, you built a great relationship. Now you have this ambassador who loves you and is speaking highly of you and referring you. You would have never had that relationship in your life, that friend, maybe even, if you hadn't picked up the phone in the first place. That's what we need to call for. We need to call with the hopes of that person versus like not calling because we think we might disrupt or interrupt somebody. And because the truth of the matter is we're not disrupting or interrupting unless that's our goal. All right. This has been awesome, guys. This has been phenomenal, power packed. Our time is up. It totally flew by, but I just wanted to express my appreciation to both of you. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.